Steel City Blues, the Sky Blues, playing in yellow, frustrated Sheffield United. Confused? Wednesday were. A defensive reshuffle brought their first defeat of the season at Millwall. Who are the region's top scorers at home? Barnsley, 5 more against Swindon. And how to take your chances. Mansfield were played off the park, but earn a point at Huddersfield. But first, we join the third division's biggest crowd of the day as second-place Grimsby meet third-place Stoke. Nick Powell.
On an afternoon where tension may well be much in evidence, Stoke will rely on experienced men like Mickey Thomas, scorer of the winning goal at Bradford in midweek. But even at 36, he's not the oldest player on the field. That's Steve Sherwood in the Grimsby goal, whose efforts last week at Birmingham did much to earn his side a point. Well by Statham. Well won by Cunnington, the captain. And Woods found Gilbert a little bit of space. It's a good turn by Gilbert, asking Rees to have a go. Goalkeeper timed his run well. Peter Fox went down bravely and timed it exactly right. Good first time ball in by Dave Gilbert. Turns well. Knows that he's got support from Rees. There it is. And the goalkeeper times his run absolutely perfectly. Blake. Kelly won the header. And the Grimsby defence are finding Tony Kelly quite a handful this afternoon. And McDermott didn't know the ball had come to him. Thomas did. Here's Kelly. Shooting chance. Still Kelly. Came off Sherwood. And it goes for the corner. But the mistake by McDermott very nearly let in Tony Kelly then. Paul Ware has come across to take the corner. Help from Thomas. Blake on the far post. Beeston. Carl Beeston, clear shooting opportunity. No challenge. Just screwed it wide. Ellis beaten by Tilson. Good run by Butler. Ellis is onside. Butler's gone forward in support. This is still Ellis. Rather uncertain clearance by Lever and by Jobling. Still bobbling around. Thomas in there challenging for it. And the linesman is flagging. The decision goes Grimsby's way. Mickey Thomas certainly likely to be a thorn in the side of the Grimsby defence for the rest of the afternoon. Stoke have brought David Kevin into the action in place of Nicky Kennedy, who's had some trouble with the hamstring strain in midweek and may just be feeling that again. Statham with the throw for Sanford. Back to Statham. It was Carr with the touch and Thomas. Shine's back there helping. This is Kevin, the substitute. The afternoon has suddenly got a great deal darker after a sunny day on the east coast. So hope it won't still be looking dark for Grimsby come the final whistle. This is Brighter from Woods. Rees inside him. Woods may fancy his chances going on his own. There's Rees inside. Can he turn? Still trying to turn. It must break. It has gone in for Tommy Watson. It was just the break they've been waiting for. Tommy Watson, his third goal of the season. It was the confidence of Neil Woods to go at Sanford and go at Statham. Goes past them as though they weren't there. Rees just couldn't turn on it. But he got a touch, and when it bobbled, there was Watson, played onside by Blake. 1-0 to Grimsby. Stoke will certainly carry the game to them now. Here's Kevin. Space for Ware. Chance for him. Couldn't get any power on the shot. The best Stoke chance of the afternoon, really. Played forward for Paul Ware, the youngster, 19 years old, just couldn't get any power on it. And here comes Grimsby at the other end. Gilbert plays it in. Here's Woods. Can he turn? Watson. Stoke get it away. Childs challenging for it with Carr, and Childs wins. Support from McDermott, only 2 in the penalty area for him. One of them is Woods. Away by Sanford. And suddenly it's become the kind of game that we were all expecting and hoping for. Cunnington. Southend making ground. Finding where. He was caught in possession by Gilbert. Fair challenge from Dave Gilbert. He does a lot of defensive work that often goes unnoticed. Rees, great ball forward, looking for Cunnington. Can he get there? Still going Cunnington. Support from Childs arriving. Woods in the penalty area. There's Woods, and Sanford was there. And the referee gives the goal kick, although I think Neil Woods may have felt that Sanford might have got a touch in there. It's a great ball played through. An unfortunate slip there. It's played in for Woods, and I think that came off Sanford, but the referee disagrees. And Buckley there with his hand on his cheek has done great work here in moulding Grimsby into one of the better attacking teams in the 3rd division. Joplin plays it short for Gilbert. Into Woods. But it was too tight for him. It's broken for Gilbert. Joplin again in support. Full midfield player. This is Rees. Nice touch for Woods. Good tackle. Still might break for Grimsby. Here's Watson. Childs on the far post. Here's Childs. Gary Childs. 2nd goal of the season. And the place has gone mad. They've started to get the breaks finally that haven't been coming their way all afternoon. That was a lovely little back heel. Woods racing through. This is where they got the break. And it created space for them. Watson it was, played it very coolly, and Childs arrived unmarked. And Alan Ball, the Stoke manager in the cap there, must be wondering what he can do. There's not much he can do from the touchline because he's played both substitutes. He must just hope that his team can get forward. Well, he can have a go. Childs. And McDermott going down like a train to his right. And Stoke looked that way and left space for Gilbert on the left. Useful little cross, and Rees barely made contact. Applause for Gilbert. It was an excellent cross. Here it is, pinpointed right on the head. Just maybe a touch too high for him. Gilbert. Crowd have just been given the attendance of 10,799. As Ellis goes forward, might try a shot. Only a yard wide. Tony Ellis, who got 2 goals a couple of weeks ago, thought he might have got one there. Certainly struck it cleanly, had the confidence to go at the defender. Looked up. It wasn't very far wide. Stoke still pressing forward. Thomas. Statham, ball came off Lever. Thomas, worth a try, it's a good effort. Mickey Thomas never stops trying. Wasn't very far away. It will surely be Stoke's final effort, this. First time opportunist effort with the left foot. Dipping a little bit, just dipped too late. And the referee decides that the 90 minutes are up, and Grimsby Town have beaten Stoke on an important afternoon. It didn't go their way in the first half. In the second half, goals from Gary Childs and Tommy Watson There's Gary Childs back from a spell out with an ankle injury. A happy afternoon for him and for Grimsby. It's Grimsby 2, Stoke City 0. What did the boss say afterwards?
He's obviously delighted. He can't ask for no more than 3 points against a team like Stoke.
Where do you go from here?
Well, we're 6 points clear of the third and fourth place teams now, so the only way's up by the looks of it.
Bradford City against Grimsby, your commentator, Nick Powell.
Bradford's Lee Duxbury wins the award for the Barclays Young Eagle of the Month for Yorkshire, chosen by Trevor Cherry, the former manager here at Bradford City, and confirmed by the England manager, Graham Taylor. And it's second place Grimsby, wearing blue this afternoon, their change strip, who get us underway, and you can rest assured that no one will be keener to do well here than Neil Woods, formerly a Bradford City player, suddenly found his scoring form again when he joined Grimsby Town on loan, now a full-time Grimsby player. McDermott, Childs, Cunnington, good one-touch stuff from Grimsby, Rees, and that's a chance for Cunnington. Goalkeeper did well. Sean Cunnington got in there, only got 2 goals this season, but he's always looking for the chance to steal forward from midfield. And Bradford really got themselves in trouble here. Attempted back pass, and Cunnington was almost there before Tomlinson. Tomlinson did well. Now a chance for Bradford to break. Torpey, Duxbury, Abbott making the overlap outside him if he wants it, 4 ahead of him. Here's Abbott. And Bradford playing with some confidence. Torpey's header wasn't very far wide, and he's certainly found some space. Useful cross in, and Torpey, watch how he gets away from the markers here. Not very far wide. Sinnott. Grimsby a little unsure whether to push out for offside or not. Fletcher got it away, not very far. Watson likewise. Childs looking for the goalkeeper, it's a bad ball, Torpey! A good important tackle from Mark Lever. Saved his side there as Torpey's foot swung in. And he found the interception from Lever, which saved, I think, probably a certain goal. Gary Childs just didn't look, played the ball straight into the path of Torpey, and it's a perfectly timed challenge from Mark Lever. Watson for Rees. McDermott supporting. Watson again, Childs, who's come inside. Woods, Cunnington, first touch let him down. Well, he should never have got the chance. Certainly the Bradford manager, John Docherty, will feel that his defence should have had that covered. And suddenly, Sean Cunnington found that he'd got a second chance, and he put it wide. Again, Lever's challenge enough to ensure that there's no danger to Grimsby. Won by James, and Tracy, without looking, gave it straight to Childs, and Bradford could be in trouble here. Useful interception by Oliver. Still Grimsby threatening. Rees. McDermott in support on the touchline if he wants him. Goes inside for Woods. Watson couldn't get it through to Gilbert. Cunnington. Oh, and the ball was spinning viciously from the right foot shot from Sean Cunnington. Did it very well, but straight at the goalkeeper. Abbott, Torpey, Duxbury, 3 ahead of him. Good run by Tracy. Lever stretches out one of those long legs. Duxbury thinks about the short throw for Abbott. Decides against it. Away by Lever. Abbott losing out to Cunnington. Here's Rees. Rees gets the free kick. Kevin Jobling. Voted the most improved Grimsby Town player last season, and he played partly in midfield. Reese, can he turn his man? Almost. Cunnington! Well, he's had more efforts on goal than anybody else so far, Sean Cunnington. Let's see this one again. Jobling's long free kick. Reese and Sinnott tussling for it. And a first-time right foot effort from Cunnington. In the end, well wide. Tinian. McCarthy in there with Butcher. Butcher saves the ball going for the corner. Bradford still have it. Tracy, Tinian. Useful interception by Gilbert. Now then, Grimsby have 3 against 2. But Gilbert slows it down somewhat. Here's Reese. Grimsby still pressing though, still 4 players forward. That's a useful ball forward for Watson. But a good challenge, well timed. Robbie James back, helping the defence, and Tommy Watson unable to capitalise. Reese held the ball up very well this afternoon, Tony Reese, for his supporting players. Here's Cunnington. Sinnott's interception. Gilbert's cross. Childs. Well, he's not the best header of the ball in the Grimsby team, he'd be the first to tell you. Got the header on target, but no real power. Duxbury missed it altogether. Away by Jobling. Reese with Oliver. Oliver won it. Cunnington beat James. And McDermott again taking the safer option. And Grimsby's caution in a way understandable in a team who've lost their last 4 games away from home in the league. Forward by Cunnington. It's not to say Grimsby haven't been threatening going forward occasionally. Here's Gilbert, chance of a shot. Always looked as though he was going to screw it, just wide of that post in fact. But it was certainly as good a shooting chance as it's been in the second half. He did everything right, except the final shot. James challenging, beaten by Cunnington, who's had a good game. Childs asking Watson to run, and McDermott is making an overlap down the right. Here's Childs. McDermott still down the touchline. This is Reese. McDermott fighting for it. Watson, can he turn? Chance for Watson! Tommy Watson! It's Tommy Watson's first goal since the last time Grimsby Town were featured on Goals on Sunday, back in October. On that occasion it was a close-range effort. On this one it was a goal worthy of winning a match. It's Bradford 0, Grimsby 1. Cunnington forward. He was beaten by Mitchell. Reese asking Woods to run. Oliver was in with the challenge. McDermott. Woods beaten by Oliver. Yorkies, Yorkies, what's the score? Is the chant from the Grimsby fans who are enjoying this thoroughly. Childs, still Child, chances here, and it must be a goal for Dave Gilbert. 9th goal of the season, and how they're enjoying it. It always looked on from the moment Gary Childs got free in the penalty area. He's got that extra yard of pace, looked up, saw what the options were, and that's the best option. Away by James. The afternoon has got very cold. And it will feel colder for Bradford, as Grimsby have another free kick. And might pick up a third goal to boost their goal difference even further. It's already good, substantially better than Southend, who led the table at start of play. Here's Rees. Can he turn? Cunnington! That's the fourth or fifth attempt on goal that Sean Cunnington's had this afternoon. He doesn't seem to mind too much that one didn't go in. His side, 2 goals to the good. Gilbert. Jobling. And the referee blows the whistle, and Grimsby have ended their run of 4 successive away league defeats with a convincing victory. Tommy Watson was the man whose goal made all the difference. It had been a fairly sterile afternoon, but his goal changed everything. They got a second one, and we have a final score that reads Bradford City 0, Grimsby Town 2.
Tommy, it looked a fairly sterile game until your goal, but after that you looked very much the better side, I thought.
Yeah, we started to play more stuff, more confidence obviously throughout the team, and we just started to play better stuff and got things together more.
Now you hit the goal with your own foot.
Yeah, well, I just cut inside and it was on my left foot, so I had to go on my left foot and I flew in the net.
If you're going to have an off day against any team in the third division, you're going to have a difficult time. But if you have an off day against one of the top teams, then you're going to have problems. Now, I felt from very early on in this game, this looks like 0-0. But the difference was that they're a team that's been in the top 2 all the season long, and they sniffed the fact that they could actually win it. And they then took the initiative and they came on and they won it.
Well, there's not a lot you can say when a team performs like that for you. We did everything that is required to go into a super team performance. We defended well, competed very well, and the second half I thought our football was of a very, very high standard. It doesn't surprise me and the many regular Grimsby followers the way we played, particularly highlighting the second goal. And the players did magnificently. There's nothing you can say, really.
Town moved to the head of Division 3 with last week's victory at Bradford, and the Mariners are back in West Yorkshire today with Tommy Watson, scorer of the first goal at Valley Parade, hoping to repeat the feat against Huddersfield. He was on the mark against them back in September when Grimsby won 4-0. The pitch good enough for the match to be declared on by referee Gerald Ashby, and Huddersfield's attack today led by Phil Stant, who completes his month on loan from Notts County. A decision on a more permanent move will be made after the game. Smith against McDermott once more, and the fullback handles it well. Another cross coming over towards Roberts, and the punch by Sherwood good enough to relieve the lines for Grimsby for the moment. And O'Regan now feeds Simon Trevitt. The first time ball in, it looks long, back post Roberts. Here's a great chance, and spooned over the top by Robert Wilson. But the first opening really created by either side of a shooting chance. Simon Trevitt hoisted it long. Roberts has won a lot of things in the air this afternoon, and he gets up well here, directs the ball down, but the whistle had gone, as you see, before Wilson took the shot. Nobody challenged Gilbert on the header, and so Rees is unleashed. Now Watson. Oh, that's a good ball as well. Rees might just have too many around him, so Cunnington belted in, and a good try as well. That's the best we've seen in the game. So Sean Cunnington getting the first shot on the mark for Grimsby. It all started with little Gilbert's header, then Rees teed him up. Cunnington whipped it in low, and that could have taken a nasty bounce for Steve Hardwick. Well, it's a very tight game, few chances so far. Grimsby coming forward now in numbers, but it's well won by Charlton, and he finds Roberts. Stant. Charlton's done well again. He's had an impressive first half. Now it's Smith, 2 defenders up against him, so he lays it back for Charlton. Huddersfield have 3, 4, 5 men now in the area. Come to Marsden, and to Smith, driven up towards Roberts, who's good in the air again. Here's a chance, Stant can't turn it, Marsden can! And a jump of joy from Chris Marsden. He got the winner last week against Fulham, and he's taken the Terriers ahead now against Grimsby. They enjoyed it, and it was beautifully struck by Chris Marsden. It's only his third of the season. Smith, the important thing was how Roberts won it there, and then when the ball was headed, Stant just managed to touch it on, but Marsden curled it around into that top corner. And Chris Marsden strikes for Huddersfield Town 10 minutes before the break, a very important breakthrough. And here comes Grimsby's McDermott. He's been as consistent as anybody for them this season, and here he is now, John McDermott. Good ball through for Woods, and Neil Woods is offside. He was in a perfect shooting position, but the flag had been raised. Charlton's made another good foray down the left. He really is a very confident player. Huddersfield, of course, have a tradition of producing good fullbacks, and he's here once more. When you think back to Ray Wilson and Bob McNabb, and here he is, Charlton, and he whistles it across there. Sherwood going down. What an impressive young fullback this is, Simon Charlton. He whipped that one over, and it was a difficult ball for Sherwood. There's still a goal up. 10 minutes into the second half, but Gilbert for Grimsby. That's a good ball through for Gary Childs. Childs goes on and evades, and that must be a penalty, is it? Ooh, the referee says not. Well, Gary Childs can't believe it, I don't think. Grimsby's fans can't. It's a beautiful ball played by Gilbert. Now let's have a look here. It was a bit of a lunge. Childs goes on. Well, the referee says no penalty. Coming on for Grimsby in the number 12 shirt is Gary Birtles. And coming on for Huddersfield Town in the number 14 shirt, Ife Onyora. There he is. Well, he's come on and scored a goal or two in his time. The ball was up there for Birtles to win, and the back header. Birtles, here's Lever, and here's the chance, and it's going to be there, is it? Oh my word, it could not be closer from Gary Birtles. Literally with his second touch on the first minute he was on, he could have equalised. Lever posed a few problems, rebounded away from Watson. Birtles, and it's agonisingly wide. She's got all the time in the world to play it wide here to McDermott. For Rees and for Childs. There's the cross. I think it's going to be too close to Hardwick. Oh, he's flapped it in a bit and driven in and off the underside of the bar by Watson. Well, everybody was looking to see if Hardwick had been fouled. The referee said not, and Grimsby surely can't come closer than that without scoring. Charlton does the sensible thing and puts the ball out of play. Look at this now, Hardwick comes for it. I thought he was going to claim it, but the presence of Birtles obviously put him off, and Tommy Watson smacked it against the underside. Well, he scored last week, he scored in the 4-0 win against Huddersfield, but a shake of the head tells you that he didn't score on this occasion. Birtles just run away from him. Charlton was put under pressure by Gary Birtles, the former England man, who had such a distinguished career with Nottingham Forest. A less happy time with Manchester United, of course. And O'Regan comes away with it. Stant's going down the left, Onyora's up the right if he can find him. He does. Trevitt's making an extra man up there too. Taken on again by O'Regan. Trevitt tries to get past Jobling and does so. Trevitt, good run. Here's the second for Stant, maybe. No, Onyora's got the chance, and it's going out of the ground. Well, this was good work by Simon Trevitt, it really was, and it's a lethal ball he cuts back as well. Stant was unlucky, it just came back off Lever. Onyora, not really so lucky. Arthur Mann on the near side, and Alan Buckley just pointing the way to his side. He led them out of the 4th division last season and is looking to lead them into the 2nd division this time. But they're still a goal behind now. The most important statistic is that Huddersfield are leading 1-0 here, but Tony Rees has got him behind the defender. He can do it, he can't finish it. No, it's a penalty. Rees brought down, penalty given against Huddersfield Town, and they have been walking on a tightrope in the last few minutes, no question about that. And this is going to be Grimsby's chance. The long ball looped forward was going to be the one that unhinged them, and Simon Trevitt, all he could do was to bring Rees down in the eyes of the referee. And Watson equalises for Grimsby Town. Tommy Watson taking over the penalty taker's role, with Dave Gilbert having been substituted. Strikes again, and he keeps up his record of having scored in all 3 matches featured on Goals on Sunday as the main game this season. It's the easiest one of the 3, of course, because it's from the penalty spot, but what an important goal from Tommy Watson, his 5th of the season. Is there yet time for Huddersfield? They might have the last chance. Trevitt drives it in, Stant comes in with Sherwood, who's as strong and tall and dependable as has been all afternoon. And it's the final whistle at Leeds Road. It's one of the oldest cliches in football, but it really has been a game of 2 halves. Huddersfield taking the lead in the first half through Chris Marston, an excellently struck goal by him. But Grimsby came back in the second half and deserved the equaliser they got in the last 10 minutes, driven in from the penalty spot by Tommy Watson. So a point apiece here. It's Huddersfield Town 1, Grimsby Town 1.
Chris, quite a spectacular goal.
Yes, I'm quite pleased for myself. Obviously, I don't score that many goals during the season, especially with my right foot. I just came across after a good build-up by the lads, and the old senior footballers just shut my eyes and swung the leg, and it ended up in top corner.
We play our way of football, and teams will come. If teams come and try and play against us, we'll do all right. If teams start hassling us and what have you, we can do that as well. But if we keep playing football, we'll be all right.
1,000 at Blandville Park.
This is the 3rd Division's match of the season. Grimsby and Southend have never been out of the promotion frame since the start of it. Southend's bid launched on the goals of Brett Angel. He's got 23 already, and Dunfermline recently had a £300,000 bid for him rejected. Grimsby have ex-England striker Gary Birtles up front. Alan Buckley chooses him ahead of Neil Woods. And back after a 2-month absence with a broken ankle, John Cockrell. He takes over from Tommy Watson, who's on the subs bench. And referee Neil Midgley has been to Blandville Park before this season, and he'll never forget it. After the match with Swansea, he was actually locked in the ground, a story he uses to good effect on the after-dinner circuit. Birtles is up there, here's Cockrell, and it's just run through to the goalkeeper Sanson. Cockrell comes from these deep positions in midfield, and if he'd have got on the end of that one, I think it'd have been 1-0. Kick upfield, and Benjamin just unable to get there before the keeper Sherwood. Now it's McDermott. It's a free kick against Powell for the challenge on Rees. There is Rees, good flick as well. Lever with a chance. It's a shame in a way, it was a centre-back who had that opportunity. A striker might have done rather better with it. But straight from McDermott's free kick, it's a lovely little flick from Tony Rees. He is so deft in those situations, and Lever rather snatched at the opportunity. Really were playing head tennis then. Grimsby who gained the upper hand once more with McDermott. And Angel has slipped out of your picture, which meant that they were a man down in terms of numbers for the moment. Now here he is, and he brings down Cunnington. Grimsby's free kick. But Brett Angel just couldn't keep his feet there. So Dave Gilbert playing it in. Lever was there, but it's out by Austin. Butcher Birtles underneath this one. Here's Tony Rees. Off the crossbar, and even the referee jumped in the air. Tony Rees very unlucky. It's the closest either side has come. Butcher's header back in. A lot of players mingling for it. Birtles with a touch there. Rees turning on it. And that's just how unlucky he was. It's a nice header from Benjamin, but straight to McDermott. Paul Clark, the Southend skipper, has played over 300 games for the club in 2 spells. This is Rees, though. He's had his share of clubs too. He's fought well here on Grimsby's behalf, and Childs gets the cross over. The keeper's in trouble. Over the top from Lever. Well swung in by Gary Childs. Sanson was in no man's land, but Lever couldn't keep the header down. Childs for Grimsby. This looks more promising. Here is Gilbert. Coming inside and out. Round 1, inside 2. Free kick given. Edge of the area. Pity from Grimsby's point of view that Gilbert hasn't got inside, because he's a damn hand at taking penalties. Mind you, I've also seen Gilbert score from a free kick from this sort of area this season. That was against Bournemouth. This is another day. Grimsby have 5 men inside Southend's penalty area. Looks like Cunnington or Gilbert, and it will be Gilbert, and he flashes it in and scores. Oh, I did warn you, he can hit them. And Dave Gilbert goes into double figures for the season, his 10th goal. Sweetly struck indeed. Cunnington ran over it, and Gilbert knew exactly where he wanted to put it, and he followed his own instructions. And a great time to score, 3 minutes before the interval, and it's Grimsby 1, Southend 0. Lever out as far as Austin. And 3 men in the middle already, and here is one of them, Angel, Brett Angel! A cracking effort and a good stop from Steve Sherwood as well. Angel, the ace goal poacher for Southend, showing in that one movement how dangerous he is. He's come out of non-league football, this Brett Angel, only in the last 18 months. And here it's a cracking effort. Southend will have the words of manager David Webb to respond to in the second half. Grimsby leading 1-0. And now attacking the pontoon end. And Grimsby's supporters are behind this goal, so they'll be hoping to suck 1 or 2 goals into that net. Long throw is aimed for Rees, inside to Gilbert. And Rees with a really weird effort. Well, that would have been a quite extraordinary goal. Paul Sansom off his line, the ricochet favoured him, but what quick thinking by Rees there to loop the ball over Sansom, but unfortunately just over the bar too. Tony Rees has looked very sharp today. Birtles, lovely header on. Rees turned aside towards Cunnington. Powell it was that time. Gilbert. Rees will give chase. He's like a greyhound, is Tony Rees. But the corner given away this time by Scully. Rees will accept that. Still they defend against another Grimsby corner. Gary Birtles in for it. Well, it nearly crept in. Birtles hasn't scored this season. In fact, his last goals for Grimsby were in a hat-trick at the end of last season against Wrexham, but he's close enough here. Gilbert with a deep and penetrating ball. Up goes Birtles. The goalkeeper rather flapped at it. Unfortunately for him, it went the wrong side. Southend just unable to get out of their own half for the moment. Leave it to me, says Kevin Jobling. So Gilbert does just that and takes up his position on the edge of the area to receive the ball. Jobling now might play it in. So might Gilbert. He's got past the first man, past the second, not past the recovering Austin though. Jobling came in and it sliced away, funnily enough, off the boot of the defender Austin. Simpson gathered it. Benjamin held things up nicely. Ansar. Mr. Late back for Tilson. Ansar once more. And Sherwood stretches and saves. And the Ansar got a hat-trick last week in the Leyland Daft Trophy against Torquay. But could do no more here, really, than put in a toe-poked effort, which was never going to beat Sherwood. And again, they'll stay over in that corner and just waste up the seconds. And Mr. Midgley points to the dressing rooms. 3 valuable points won here by Grimsby Town in their promotion chase. They've inflicted defeat on Southend, their arch-rivals, by 1-0. The only goal scored by Dave Gilbert in the first half, but Grimsby have really merited their success. Grimsby Town 1, Southend United 0.
We're now into the critical part of the season so far as promotion's concerned. How do you rate your chances now?
I think the critical part is about the middle of May when everything's been decided, John. But the only thing I would guarantee is we try and play the game in an entertaining fashion. And all I will say is that nobody and no club wants to be successful more than this football club here. And everybody will do all in their power to make that the case.
What a marvellous week it's been in Division 3 for Grimsby Town. Southend and Rotherham had been dispatched before yesterday's encounter with Brentford. And this flowing move summed up Grimsby's mood of the moment. McDermott, Birtles and Rees had traded the passes before the ball landed at the foot of Neil Woods. One swing and bingo. After 19 league games without a goal, that was his second in 4 days. Last week's hero Dave Gilbert has a sweet left peg too. This time the ball fizzed over instead of just under the bar. But better was to come. On the half hour, Tony Rees, in excellent form at present, sent Woods, brimful of confidence now, scooting down the left. And the finish turned out to be just as slick as the pass. Brentford, one of the chasing pack, had been beaten. Grimsby Town 2, Brentford 0. Division 2 got a massive first half lift against Reading. The Mariners were unbeaten in 6 matches before yesterday, and once John Cockrell got past Steve Francis, he and the team were well on their way to making it 7. It was one of those days Cockrell will be crowing about for a long time. Even he scarcely expected to follow that with a goal direct from a corner kick, his second goal in the first 12 minutes. Reading, whose recent scalps include Southend and Tranmere, did have enough fight left in them to string together a handsome move, which foundered only as a result of Steve Sherwood's defiant stop from Stuart Lovell. Grimsby came again though, a move epitomising the way Alan Buckley likes his sides to play. Dave Gilbert and Cockrell at the heart of it, Tony Rees a whisker away from making it 3. And that figure was reached 2 minutes before half-time. Gilbert and Rees. A lovely 1-2, and when Gilbert came a cropper, referee Fitzharris gave Gilbert the chance to score his 11th goal of the season from the penalty spot. He duly took it. Grimsby 3, Reading 0.